Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop, where I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Yo, what's happening, big homie? Andy Williams, what's up? Rhino, DFS, Rudy, what's up, big homie? Good to see y'all tonight, man. Woo! Today, we're gonna be talking about a little bit of what happened last night. Some solid spots that we were in, places where we really yo. Shout out to Paul Harless, right? Because you liked Severino. I was all over Gio Gonzalez, and you kind of called. He called like a no hitter tonight. He was like, "Yo, I think Sev's gonna throw a no hitter," and I like Gio more. And my homie Nat Gio was on the road to a no hitter, bro. And the crazy thing about Gio Gonzalez last night was he just was not getting Ks. Like, he was getting cats out. He just was not getting Ks, bro. And he most certainly should have had like 40 DraftKings points, man. He really should have had that. He just was not getting Ks, man. He was not getting Ks. He wasn't throwing the ball by people. He was pitching more so to contact, getting guys out, surely, but just not getting the strikeouts. I think he finished with like 4 or 5 Ks. Maybe 6 at the most, bro. It just wasn't a huge strikeout night for him. But all in all, it was a pretty solid slate. All of my cash lines went in. I was good on that, so I did make something. Well, the reason why that happened too is because I played a lot of Oakland in my cash lines. That's just where I was, and I stacked Severino and Gio in most of my lineups. Finishing off with some of the cheaper batter stacks, Toronto. I should have went heavier on the White Sox. Didn't the White Sox come back and do the damn thing? That was beautiful. The White Sox, man. And they dumped everybody. So they've got a team full of virtual no-names, but guys that are young and up and coming and probably want to make a name for themselves. Now, we did see one injury to Yohan Moncada, Yomo, a guy that I really like. So we're going to have to see how that goes down. But, Luis Garcia got on base, snagged the bag, was really good. I had him in my main cash line. The homie from Texas didn't do much. He was kind of like my guaranteed cheap jack. He did not go yardy. And it's funny because there were 2 second basemen in the lineup. One was Odor, who was under 4K. The other one was the homie Drew Robinson. He was 2.4 on DraftKings. Odor homered for the third and three straight at bats. 3 straight at bats. He homered. He yanked one, and I didn't see much from Drew Robinson, so I missed on that. I was in the right vicinity, but just did not get the right guy, man. Odor was nice today. Paul Harder says the Oakland stack was money. He got 4 times. I liked Oakland, man. We talked about it, bro. And let's go and put up the graphic because, every day I throw my tweet out and I ask who's going to be the gang stack of the MLB main slate. And today it was a landslide, bro. And 100 votes, everybody was all over the Kansas City Royals, which means I didn't like them. Now, I didn't want to go as far as to play Ubaldo Jimenez against him, but I just didn't like the Royals, and I didn't play much of them. The first inning of the game, it looked like I was going to be in for a long night because I didn't have any Royals. But then after that, man, Ubaldo Jimenez just shut him down. The next one was the Cleveland Indians, which I kind of did like. I did like Cleveland. I thought they were in a good spot. But we talked about Clevenger and how I felt like Clevenger, he was the guy that was the pivot pitcher. If you didn't have any Clevenger, I thought you really should have some Boston bats. Any lineup that you didn't have Clevenger in, I think you should have had some Boston bats. And that proved to be a decent play because the Boston Red Sox shelled this cat and ran up 6 runs. He was out by the 4th inning, right? The next one was the Washington Nationals. The most disappointing batter stack on the night was my favorite. My favorite batter stack was the most disappointing of the night. I'm talking about the Washington Nationals. They sucked a dick. It was horrible. It was hard. Yo, these motherfuckers could not get on base, bro. It was bad. I don't even remember how they scored the 1 run that allowed them to win the game. What the fuck, bro? The Nats sucked. And everything told us in our research, aside from the fact of them being cold and then playing a doubleheader the other day, like everything in our research said that they were going to be kind of the stack to use, right? Then we had the Texas Rangers. Nobody wanted to play them. As you can see in this graphic of 100 votes, they were only 8% of the teams that people wanted to get behind, but they were decent. They were very decent. They actually led had the best situation because we went over it, and we see we like to break down situational batting. Like right now during this show, our main focus is recapping what happened last night, but also looking forward to pitching. And what we do is we break it down in 4 categories: at home versus righties, at home versus lefties, away versus righties, away versus lefties. And we look at those, and we can see what batters do in certain situations. As a team. I don't want you all to get stuck and lost on individual WOBA, individual ISO. But we like to look at it from a team perspective. That way, it gives us a better, more sound foundation to rest our pitching plays on. That's how we do that. Okay. Who else? Who else did I like? I went Severino, which is a decent play. Severino was a good play, of course. He was rolling in the beginning. It looked like he was going to have a 40-point game, but then he kind of lost a lot of steam there. We saw some fairly good performances from a lot of the lower dollar pitchers around the league. You didn't have to have a guy priced, very far up in order to play well. That's not what you had to have. So it was a fairly decent night. As I said, man, it was fairly simple for me to make a little something, man. All of my cash games went well. This is the thing. We talked about this. Corey Dickerson scored 32 DraftKings points, the second leading scorer on the slate. We had in the top 5 scorers, three of them were from Houston, and we got away from that. We got away from understanding what Houston can do. Houston is nuts, bro, and I think that every night we should be taking them into consideration. I mean, all the other teams around the league made all these deals. Sonny Gray went to the Yankees. Darvish went to the Dodgers, and people are talking about why Houston Rockets didn't make any moves. They went fucking ham. They went off, and we should have saw that coming. As much as we are in tune, we should have saw that coming. I completely overlooked that. Jake Marisnick, man, 45 DraftKings points. Derek Fisher, 26. We've been starting Derek Fisher because he's been leading off or playing close to the top of the order, waiting on him to have this 26-point performance. At 3.7K, did it. We had Alex Bregman, 25. So we really should have gotten some exposure here. Now, I didn't play Cobb at all. I didn't want to play Cobb at all. I had no interest in Cobb. I do not play pitchers against the Houston Astros. That's just something that I just cannot do. But we should have saw those batters coming. We should have saw them coming. All right. So let's go ahead, man, and jump into today's slate. We've got 15 games coming up, and we are approaching a very special time of year. NFL preseason is up on FanDuel as well as DraftKings. Be on the lookout. Our very next show is going to be dedicated to some preseason stuff, giving you some stuff to look at, ways to play. I don't want you to fall in love with particular names that you know in terms of NFL preseason. I want to bring those to you, man, and we're going to chop those up most certainly. So let's go ahead, man, and jump right into it. I'm going to be working, of course, from RotoQL, and I'm going to be rolling with, of course, the seasonal average projection. Love this tool here. RotoQL, very solid shit, man. Love it. Built my cash game lineup, and it hit everywhere. I was happy about that. My quintuple ups, my double ups, it was great. It was great. I had a good one. All right, so we've got 15 games on the all-day slate. First pitch goes out at 7:05. Let's take a look at the pitching. Just look at the pitching, okay? Chris Sale is on the slate. We got Max Scherzer, Mike Fiers, Archer, Nola, Jimmy Nelson. Shout out to the homie Ronald Coley. He made this for me in DraftKings. He made this for us in the group in DraftKings, and Fangraphs, and I'm going to be sharing it with you all. This gives us a really solid table that we can go to. Gives us everything from K per 9 to the K rates. We can look we can go pitch value, pitch type, everywhere. Just check all of this stuff out. Very solid shit that he made using the Fangraph software. Really nice shit. Thank you so much for this, bro. Much appreciated. ACP to Don, what's up, big homie? Andy William, what's up, man? So let's go ahead, man, and take a look. We've got some high dollar pitching on the slate, bro. I love this because what this is telling me, we got all the teams are in action today, and what this is telling me that I do not have to fall in love with the top of the pitching on the slate. I don't, man. I don't. There's gonna be so many. There's gonna be so much value, bro, and so many great pitching prospects in the mid-level, in the mid-tier for less money that we do not have to pay up for all of this shit, man. We just don't. We just don't. It's laughable to me. We just don't. So let's go and take a look. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pop it up in DraftKings. We've got 15 games at 7:05. We got a 2-game turbo at 7:35. 5-game turbo at 8:05. We've got 4 games in the night at 8:40, and we got 3 late games at 10:05. Now those probably are going to be the games, those 3 games that we're not going to have the complete rosters for until lineups lock. So be careful about that. Also, if you wanted to get inside of the line drive at 5 with us, where we actually build our lineups, we go and we wait until the batting orders come out, and then we build our lineups. So if you want to do that with us, go check out the website www.dfssweatshop.com. Once you get in there, man, upon your paid subscription, you'll be in the best Facebook group online, bro. We can chop it up, okay? And the reason why we do that is because everybody is talking about right now. People are making shows right now, the night before, and they say, "Oh, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like that guy." You don't know who the fuck is playing. You don't know. You don't know. How the fuck? The only thing you know is the pitching. All you know is what we know right now, the pitching. But once the batting orders come out between 4 o'clock and 6, the batting orders come out, then we're able to do our thing. Okay? So here we go. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. Take a look. We're gonna be discussing not only pitching but park factors, everything that's included in pitching. First game we're gonna talk about is the Kansas City Royals and the Baltimore Orioles. We got Dylan Bundy at 6.8, Ian Kennedy 7.1. We're gonna see a lot of guys priced in the mid-range, man. You look at the Baltimore Orioles, 2-mile-per-hour wind going out towards center field in Camden Yards. Very hitter-friendly park here. The Kansas City Royals, they've been rolling out Ian Kennedy at 7.1. Dylan Bundy at 6.8. Last couple of starts. 7. Okay. 37. 9. 18. 46. This is FanDuel. Let's go to DraftKings. Make sure we get the right one. Yeah, DraftKings. Certainly. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Negative 0.6. 19.9 against Texas, a team that struck out a lot. 2.45 against Minnesota. So Dylan Bundy, man, against Kansas City Royals, not a guy that I am stoked to play. Even though we saw what Ubaldo Jimenez did against the Kansas City Royals last night, I'm not really stoked to play him. And we're gonna look at what they do on the road. This is on the road versus right-handed pitching. We take a look at the Kansas City Royals here. Here we go. 157 ISO, a 314 WOBA. 309 WOBA, 20% K rate. Not attackable, not a team not guys that I really love. Brad says Bundy stinks. I tend to agree with that. I think we can most assuredly play some of the Kansas City Royals here. Maybe what happened last night is going to take some cats off of them, and they're not going to want to play him. Tom Riley says Hosmer crushes Bundy, but he's at 5.5 on DK. Ooh, lower. That's pricey right there, bro. We got Ian Kennedy 6.5 in his last couple of starts. 20.5 against Detroit, 2.2 against Chicago White Sox, 18.8 against Texas, and 16.7 against the Dodgers. That's in his last 4 starts. Do not want to play a pitcher in this spot. Luke, Uncle Luke, what's up, big homie? I do not want to play a pitcher in this spot against the Baltimore Orioles in Camden Yards. While it's not that lefty-righty matchup that I really wanted, I still think righty-righty, man. The Orioles, man, are a team that's very hard to pick on, at home in the confines of Camden Yards. I would much rather take some Baltimore bets here. So I don't like any of the pitching in this spot. The next game we're talking about is the Detroit Tigers and my New York Yankees. Anibal Sanchez, 4.9. And Cesar Sabathia, 7.5. Yo, that is very cheap, bro. Yo, Sanchez, 4.9. Man, that's the price of an outfielder. That is cheap. 1.65 against Kansas City, 15.35 against Minnesota, 4.1 against Toronto. And the only way I see you having to play or even look at a guy like Anibal Sanchez here is if you're paying all the way up that 13 whatever, right? If you're paying up for Sale, you're paying up for Scherzer, and you need a bottom of the barrel guy so you can get the best you still want. Other than that, I have no interest in playing Anibal Sanchez against my Yankees here. Sabathia at 7.5 can be a decent play in my opinion. I'm going to take a look at what the Detroit Tigers do on the road against left-handed pitching. This is going to give us a better look at what we can expect. Okay, in 129 plate attempts, wait a minute. The Tigers are batting 276 with a 424 WOBA in the month of since July 1st, 17.1% K rate. The last time this happened, bro, they smashed lefties on the road, 276 ISO. This is indicative of a high-scoring game. I Detroit. No Sabathia for me. No CC for me. No no CC. You got 6 mile power wind going out toward that short porch in left field. Detroit Tigers. No CC for me. Yeah, no CC for me. I like Detroit. Detroit looks good. Detroit looks good. That is nuts. That is nutty. Do we got any BVP here? Damn. That is nutty. Somebody get some BVP on that for me. On the road versus lefties, bro. Detroit is smashing. 276 ISO. I like that. And AC Perry brings up a good point. The pitchers get pulled faster. Now since we've developed a much better bullpen. Yeah. First sign of the pitching getting weak, the starting pitching, they're yanking his ass. CC, it happened to him last start too. 9.5 run total, man. Yeah, no CC for me. No CC here. No CC. Next game we got is the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We got Homer Bailey at 4.2, James Taillon at 8K, and I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, 4.2 for a pitcher, man. God, I mean, what does a dude have to do? What does a dude have to do at 4.2 pitching against the Pirates in a pitcher's part to make value, bro, and allow you to pay up, for one of those higher dollar joints, man. Homer Bailey is cheap as shit. Let's take a look at his last few starts, man. Negative 3.7 against the Yankees, 9.5 against Miami, negative 3 against Washington, in Arizona 20.4, in Colorado 16.7. So does this dude have to be like in major trouble in order to play well? Good God. This dude sucked in good situations and pitched the game of his life in like the two worst places to pitch. In Coarse and in Chase. He went in there and balled out. It's crazy. James Taillon 8K. Cincinnati Reds. I think I'm gonna take a look at them on the road versus righties. We're looking at the Cincinnati Reds. I knew the ISO was pretty decent, man. 186 ISO here, 317 WOBA with a 21.1% K rate. That is not bad. I'm gonna take a look again. Let's look at Homer Bailey, man, and see what's good with him. See what's good with Homer Bailey. This dude sucks. Yeah, I'm taking a look at Bailey's K rate here. 12.1% K rate, one of the lowest K rates of all of the pitchers. Yeah, you can't play this cat. You can't. You can't play this dude here. No Bailey for me. James Taillon at 8K. Disappointed last time out, man. Negative 15 against San Francisco. 23.2 against Milwaukee. I used him in that spot. Taillon, man, that's gonna be tough. I don't like him. I don't like Taillon here. He's 8K. It's a good price, but I still just don't like Taillon on the spot. Can't play him. I can't play him. Next game we got round 2, the Cleveland Indians and the Boston Red Sox. We got Chris Sale, 13. We've got Carlos Carrasco, 9.8. I think the pitching in this game is really the place to be. At 8-run total here. You got Carrasco at 9.8. In his last couple of starts, 15, 16, 19, 31.75. That is fairly consistent in the way of not really, not really shitting on you. But this is not winning. This is not tournament winning pitching we've seen from Carlos Carrasco. You got Chris Sale at 13K. I don't want to pay up that much. Not on a 15-game slate. I do not want to pay for Chris Sale. The only way I would is if the slate would have to convince me to play him by some insane amount of value opening up somewhere. And without that, I'm not going to play Chris Sale. I have no interest in playing him. I'm sure most of you will. I don't like him or Carrasco in a spot at 9.8 because I don't want to attack the Boston Red Sox at the crib, coming off a hot performance. Let's take a look. We can look at the home road splits. All right, at home, 15.45, away 16, away 19, away 28, at home 0.1. So he's been better away than he has been on the road, but it's still Carrasco. It's still the Boston Red Sox. I don't feel like I have to go anywhere as far as pitching goes and take advantage of any of these bats. Any of these pitchers. I'm good. Next game we got is the Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins. We got Max Scherzer at 13.2, Chris O'Grady 4.5. Let's take a look at what the Nats do on the road versus left-handed pitching. I mean, yeah, I want to take a look at that. What do they do on the road versus lefties? Pretty good ISO here. 195, 21.2% K rate, 332 WOBA, so they are definitely usable. The problem for me, like last night, I didn't like the fact that Rendon wasn't playing. I would have loved to have taken Defoe out, bump Rendon up, and give me that top 5 of Goodwin, Harper, Murphy, Zimmerman, Rendon. I would have loved that. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. I would have loved that. But that's not what we saw. So Chris O'Grady, 4.5, very cheap. The Nats have been decent on the road versus lefties. Not so much for particular bats like Bryce Harper. Yeah, yo. Looking at his last few starts, man. 24.95 against Cincinnati, 10.5 against Cincinnati, 13 against the Dodgers, 13 against San Francisco. You know, this is a perfect spot for the Nats to get right here. And now O'Grady at 4.5. I can't play it. I can't do it. Scherzer 13.2, the highest salary guy on the slate. You know I don't like paying up for pitching, especially not on a 15-game slate. I've got no interest in Max Scherzer here, especially against like he would be the only guy I would attack though. Like I would play some cats against him. I would go check for BVP, see who's had success against him in the past, and I could play him. I could play him. You look at Giancarlo Stanton, you don't get a discount on him, and that's the look at this. You don't get a discount, bro, on the Miami bats for playing Scherzer. He gets crushed by Miami bats. The last game he had, man, well, against Miami away, he had 39.5. They've played him, only time they played him. But that must be historic. It must be historic. Yeah, I don't love Scherzer here, man. 29 against Milwaukee, 13 against Arizona. He got hit up that day, but he still had a ton of Ks. Excuse me. Next game we got is the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves. Kenta Maeda 7.2, Lucas Sims at 4.6. What do we know about Lucas Sims here? Do we know anything about Lucas Sims? Kenta Maeda 7.2. Take a look at what he's done in his last few starts. 17 against Minnesota, 15 against the White Sox, 19 against Kansas City. Don't want to play him. I will like some Freddie Freeman. Sign me up at 4.5. I like Freddie Freeman here. Really solid hitter situation for the Atlanta Braves. We're going to take a look at the park factor in Atlanta and see exactly how it shapes out. Where we at, baby? This is a pitcher's park, negative 95 park factor here. For every 100 runs scored around the league, you're going to get 97 here. For every 100 home runs hit around the league, you're only going to get 95 here. That's, excuse me, 94 here. That's why I said negative 95. And that's why the one guy that I would love is going to be Freddie Freeman against Maeda. I can play him. I like the lefty-righty matchup, especially against Maeda here. I like that. Don't really love Maeda in the spot at 7.2, but I think you can. Let's take a look at what the Braves do at home against right-handed pitching. Let's take a look. All right, 173 ISO, 322 WOBA with a 25% K rate. That K rate is so high, man. That K rate is so high that it would definitely take me off of stacking the Atlanta Braves. Don't know if I could get to playing Kenta Maeda because the K rate for him is at 15.9%. That's not very great either. So I would go with a couple of one-offs if I like them and keep it moving in that spot. Next game we got is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm telling you, Jimmy Nelson is today's pivot play. Jimmy Nelson is today's pivot play. This dude has been on fire. He has been the shits and the piss, bro. This dude is killing it, bro. Against the Nats last time out, 28.75. Against Pittsburgh, not so awesome, 9.05. 26 against Philadelphia, 15 against my Yankees, 32 against Baltimore, 35 against Cincinnati, 43 down here against San Diego. Yo, this dude has been killing it this year. And I really like the spot that he's in. Let's take a look at what the Cardinals do on the road against right-handed pitching to give us a better view of how we can attack this, okay? We're looking at, where they at, baby? Okay, St. Louis, 21.2% K rate, 127 ISO with a 312 WOBA. That is not, like, that is not above beyond reproach, bro. It's really not. I mean, Jimmy Nelson at 7.8 has got to be a play on your radar that you like. It's got to be, bro. Even Carmar at 8.8 is interesting to me, but you look at the fact that they're going to be in Miller Park, very friendly spot to batters. Yeah, St. Louis. Rudy says, I love St. Louis on the road and in the Hitters Park, Gorko and fam. And see that's going to be Rudy just hit the nail on the head. This is why I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna call Jimmy Nelson today's pivot play. Okay, he is a guy that if you do not like Jimmy Nelson, if you're not playing, if you make 5 lineups and in 2 lineups you have Jimmy Nelson, in the other 3 you better have St. Louis bats. Wherever you don't have Jimmy Nelson, I think you should have exposure to the St. Louis Cardinals bats, because this is gonna go one of 2 ways, bro. He's gonna strike everybody out and pitch well, or they're going to hit the shit out of him. And I'm going to be more along the side of playing Jimmy Nelson as one of my favorite pitching prospects. But there is definitely a cause for concern and a reason to like the St. Louis Cardinals here. Because on the road, they're very good. They have been very good singularly, a few of the guys. As a team, not so great in the month of July against right-handed pitching, which is why I like Jimmy Nelson. But over the course of the season, they have guys singularly that have done well. Let me talk about DeJong, Pham. Those guys have hit well against righties on the road. So, this is the pivot play in the slate, bro. Nelson. If you got no Nelson, get some St. Louis. If you don't have Nelson, get some St. Louis. I love Nelson. He's one of my favorite pitching prospects on the slate. Love him already. Love him. And Carlos Martinez does deserve consideration too. So 8.5 run total in a Miller Park. I like it. Next game we got is going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Chicago Cubs. You got Patrick Corbin, 7.1. John Lester, 9.5. I do not want to play John Lester at 9.5. Some of the best, hardest hitting righties you're going to see are going to be coming up for the Diamondbacks here. I like, of course, Goldie and JD and all. Man, fuck that. I'm not playing John Lester here. 9.5, that's just too much for me. Can't do it. Patrick Corbin, lefty-lefty matchups. Let's take a look at what Chicago Cubs do at home against left-handed pitching. Let's take a look, okay? 162 K rate with 162 ISO with a 347 WOBA, 26.1% K rate. That is very high, bro. For me, I would play look for Patrick Corbin in this spot. You know what I'm saying? John Lester, no. The Diamondbacks on the road versus lefties. Let's take a look at what they do. 189 ISO, 285 WOBA with a 29.8% K rate. Oh my god. this doesn't look great. Batter wise, this doesn't look great for either team. But I know somebody's gonna slip through the cracks. Wrigley Field, 3 mile per hour wind here, 64 dew point. This is gonna be a tough one, bro. I would just attack each pitcher with right-handed bats and just keep it moving. That's the most sound reasoning I can come up with. Next game we got is the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers. Erasmo Ramirez at 4.8, Yu Darvish 10.4. That can't be right because Yu Darvish is not playing for the Texas Rangers anymore. He's going to be going over to the Dodgers. So let's go and take a look on DK and see what we got here. Get the correct pitching for this one. Nick Martinez. Yeah, Nick Martinez is going to be on the mound. And you got Erasmo Ramirez here. Have no interest in either of the pitchers here in the spot. I think this is going to be one of those game stack situations. Love a lot of the lefty bats against Nick Martinez. Also going to like those lefty bats against Erasmo Ramirez. We look at what the Rangers do at home against right-handed pitching, and it's fucking crazy, bro. 271 ISO, 20.7% K rate with a 385 WOBA. I'm gonna be all on that, bro. I'm gonna be all on that. I like that. Give me some Texas tomorrow as well. You've got Seattle Mariners on the road versus righties. See what they do. Not scary. 147 ISO, 259 WOBA with a 23% K rate. Doesn't mean I'll play Nick Martinez, but it means that I'm not going to be all over Seattle. My game stack going to be more to the side of the Texas Rangers, okay? Next game we got is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Chicago White Sox, who came back last night with a vengeance, bro. Marcus Stroman. If I'm going to pay up, that's the highest I'm going to pay up is for Stroman. Look at the White Sox at home against righties. See what they do. 196 is the ISO with a 285 WOBA, 26.9% K rate. I really think that that can be taken advantage of, bro. Marcus Stroman can pitch a good one. Remember, beware, okay? Because Stroman has had the blisters, so beware of that. He had the blisters. Mike Pelfrey 4.7. Have no interest in him. I think some Toronto bats are definitely going to be in order again. But I do like Stroman. At 11K, I do like Stroman. He's going to be the guy that's going to be. That's the most I'm going to be paying up for pitching tomorrow is going to be Stroman. So I like him. He's in use. Stroman on the road versus home. Away 23, away 28, away point. Oh, I mean, you could call them bad splits, but it's really not really. Not really. I mean, it's all relative, man. Not really bad splits. But just the White Sox, man, they just have not the lineup they put out is just not a great lineup. And of course they're gonna be playing for pride like we saw last night. It's just that 26% K rate at home against righties is something I think I'm gonna use to play Marcus Stroman. And I'm gonna curb my enthusiasm against him after all. Anyway, just because yeah, he got tossed in his last start. Yeah, so you might want to come out pitching well. And I'm gonna just because he had the blisters, I'm gonna curb my enthusiasm. But he's in play for me. I like Stroman. I do like him. Next game we got is the Tampa Bay Rays and the Houston Astros. Chris Archer 9.6, Mike Fiers 8.5. Let's take a look at the Tampa Bay Rays and what they do on the road versus right-handed pitching. Ninth in the league in ISO, 172 in this situation, 286 WOBA with a 25.5% K rate. So that means to me that Mike Fiers is going to be in play. I see, and look how beautiful that is, bro. Yo, look how beautiful this is. So let's say you play fucking Mike Fiers against the Rays, who strike out 25% of the time on the road versus righties. You already know there's a pretty good chance the Houston Astros are going to be in for the win. All right? You know the game's probably going to be fairly low scoring. It's 8.5 run total. So you play Mike Fiers, goes out, get you 20 some odd points, and you play Jimmy Nelson, right? Look how much you have. Look how. I mean, you've got almost better than 4,000 per bat. But you pay up for 13K for one of those pitchers, man. And you're grasping at straws, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Moncada and Garcia are going to be out for the White Sox. Yes. So Mike Fiers, a guy that I really like. No Archer for me. I'm going to stick to my code, man. I'm not playing a pitcher against the Houston Astros. That's not going to do it. But Mike Fiers is most certainly in play to me. And I want to show you what the Houston Astros do at home against right-handed pitching. Okay? Let's take a look. Here we go. Fourth in the league, 228 ISO, 401 WOBA with a 17.9% K rate. That is nice, bro. That is nice. So if you wanted to attack Archer, man, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I really wouldn't. Next game we got is the New York Mets and the Colorado Rockies. Uh-oh. And see, this is beautiful. Because not only do we have high-dollar pitching on the slate and a couple of options. We got 13, 11K, right? But we also have Coarse on the slate. And what this means is everybody's going to regress to what they hear from the larger sites. That you can't play a pitcher in Coarse is what they say. You got to play all the bats. You got to pay up for pitching on a 15-game slate, all of which we know are not truth and set in stone. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, bro. You can do whatever you want to do. Now, would I rush out to play Jeff Hoffman or Steven Matz? Not so sure. Let's take a look at what the Mets do on the road versus right-handed pitching. Let's take a look. Right? The Mets are down, bro. 132 ISO, 279 WOBA with a 20.5% K rate. Remember, Lucas Duda is no longer on the squad anymore. Okay? So, Jeff Hoffman at 5.4 in a 12.5 run total, -3, -11 is not in play. Oh my God. Good God. That is horrible. Hoffman has been bad. Hoffman has been bad. Steven Matz at 5.5. Let's take a look at him. -3, 9.85, -13. Okay, this is bad. This is not a spot where you can play any pitcher in Colorado, okay? Let's look at what the Rockies have done at home versus left-handed pitching. This is probably an insane number what they've done. Yeah, the Rockies, 222 ISO, 399 WOBA with a 32.9% K rate. Yo, that's crazy. That is an insane K rate, man. 32.9% K rate. But beware, it's only in 70 plate attempts. That's not a lot. 32.9% K rate at home versus lefties. That is nutty. That is nutty. That is nutty. I might look at Steven Matz tomorrow. Steven Matz might be in play for me. I know. You don't have to follow me there. But Steven Matz might be in play. If I think that the Mets can go in, hit Hoffman up with all those lefty-righty matchups, Steven Matz can get the win and not give up more than 3 or 4 runs, get some strikeouts, 32% K rate at home versus lefties, that could be a tournament-winning play. Remember I said that. Next game we got is the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland Athletics. Jeff Samardzija, Paul Blackburn. Yo, when I said I was like, yo, I'm never playing Jeff Samardzija again. And I didn't play him, and he went out and had 30.15 DraftKings points against Pittsburgh. That killed me. Oakland A's, man. This is a very, very, very pitcher-friendly park in this spot. Look at BVP versus Matz. They crush it. Okay. I will. I'll check it out. You got Oakland at home against righties, man. Let's take a look at that, where they sit. 8th ranked in the league in K rate. In ISO, 208 ISO, 314 WOBA with a 25.7% K rate. That is much. That is usable, bro. That is usable. Then you've got, Manaea is going to be pitching here against the San Francisco Giants. I think he's definitely in play in this spot. We look at the San Francisco Giants, what they do on the road against. Let's look at Manaea here. Pivot play? You think Sharks can be the pivot play? Yo, I like Manaea, bro. Rodokio, get your shit together, bro. Let's look. Sean Manaea, 7.9. I kind of like him, man. And I want to take a look at what the Giants do on the road versus left-handed pitching. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh yeah, they're toward the bottom. 117 ISO, 284 WOBA with a 19% K rate. Yeah, I like that. Yo, Rudy, I second that emotion. Samardzija never does what I need him to do. Ever. So Manaea is going to be in play for us, most certainly. Not feeling the Giants at all. Not really feeling Samardzija. I kind of don't want to test that Oakland power at the crib. They get it in at home, man. They really don't want to test them. Plus 200 ISO for them. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Aaron Nola is going to be the darling, and he should, man. Yo, I love this kid, bro. He is a guy I love. I got to be real with you. I love Aaron Nola, man. 9.1 is the price for him. You got Nolasco at 6K. Let's look at what the Phillies do on the road versus right-handers. Let's take a look. I don't believe that they're very good on the road against right-handers. Yeah, man, they're trash. 137 ISO with a 335 wobble, which is not bad. 21.2% K rate. So, I think, if you think that, well, you know what? I don't see a lot of runs being scored here. That's why I don't think I can play Nolasco in this spot. Uh, well, I think I could play Nolasco because I don't see a lot of runs being scored here. And I'm gonna consider him at 6K. And I love Nola, of course, at 9.1. Let's take a look at what happens at home for the Angels against right-handed pitching. The one thing we got to be aware of is that the Angels just don't strike out a ton, man. They just don't. They just don't strike out a lot. But they don't hit for a ton of extra bases either. 19th in the league here in ISO, 171 with a 286 WOBA and 19.1% K rate. The only thing you have to really watch out for is going to be, the homie hitting the jack. I played Aaron Nola versus Houston in that Philadelphia Park. You better believe playing him. Exactly. Yeah, if you can play Nola in Houston or against Houston, you can play him against the Angels. The Angels' bats have been going the last series, and that's true. The Angels' bats have been looking pretty good over the last couple of games. But I still think Nola is a very solid play. And I love the fact that there's so many other pitching prospects that maybe he's not going to be as high owned as he had been recently. So give me some Nola here. Nolasco 6K is a guy that I kind of like. I think I can use him too. Last game on the slate is going to be the Minnesota Twins and the San Diego Padres. You got Julius Chassin at 7.3, Jose Berrios 7.7. Petco, man, it's a pitcher park. So make sure to take a look. Yeah, man. 28th ranked park out of 30. Negative 86 is the park factor. So that's definitely, we want to take a closer look at some of the pitchers here. Minnesota Twins, man, have not been great. Let's take a look at them on the road versus righties. Let's take a look. 138 ISO, 313 WOBA with a 24.4% K rate. That's going to automatically tell me that Julio Chassin is in play at 7.3. Berrios, 7.7. Not a guy that I love. The Padres have been fairly decent, man. At home against righties, I think the Padres have been pretty good, man. We're looking at a 197 ISO here, 343 WOBA with a 22.8% K rate. Yo, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I won't be fucking with Berrios, but I do think that Chasing is a very solid play at 7.3. So let's go ahead and go back and take a look at all of the pitching prospects that we've highlighted. One of them we're not going to be able to highlight here, but I do like him. It's going to be Sean Manaea, but he's just not in the player pool for RotoQL. Sorry about that. He's a guy that I'm going to like. Okay, so I've got Stroman, the highest pitcher I'm going to be paying for. Nola, Martinez, Mike Fiers, Jimmy Nelson, Chassin, maybe some Nolasco, and no Steven Matz. We got off of Steven Matz. That's what I like. That is my pitching pool, and also Manaea. Don't forget that. Manaea. That is my early pitching pool. I am definitely going to be jumping back in and going over it in the line drive at 5, which takes place, of course, at 5 o'clock. If you want to be a part of that, once the batting orders come out, the pitching is going to be solidified. We're going to make our lines. Go to the website, www.dfssweatshop.com. This has been your DFS Gurusm. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Gurusm, letting you know if you're on FanDuel, keep it 250. If you're on DraftKings, keep it 200. You're rocking with your boy, the best. So you're always keeping it 300. Peace.